everyone, it's Justine and welcome to Technique Week, which is my free monthly class. This month we're focusing on Distress Inks 101 and today on natural backgrounds. So today we're going to be doing a sunset in the other video, and today we're doing a little bit of a night sky scene that's masked off. So one of the most effective things that I like to use is not just an entire distressed background, but masking off a certain area and using my Distress Inks. Now to line up my masking paper, I am going to be using the grid lines of my mat here, just to make sure that everything's nice and straight. It's a lot easier to use your grid lines. It'll help you a lot before adding your craft mat. Now, turned it over to the side. That tends to be the way that works well for me. And I'm going to be using a nice little blend here of abandoned coral, dusty concord, chipped sapphire, and black soot. As I'm doing this class, I'm slowly noticing that some of my Distress inks definitely need some re-inking. Not so much this one because this one's brand new, but the chipped sapphire and the dusty concord. But nonetheless, the technique works just fine without it. So again, light hand starting off the cardstock. All my blending tips are in video 1, but you start off the cardstock, work your way in. Remember, no pressure on your hand, as little pressure as you could possibly put on, and build up the color slowly but surely. You won't get those crazy harsh lines that you can get when you're pushing down on your sponge, and you'll get a really nice blended look. It does take time though, so that's the thing, a lot of people want to rush this process. Each of these backgrounds today, I would say, took me around 7 to 10 minutes to do to build up that color, but it is worth it in the end to really just take your time. And remember, what I do is I go in with the abandoned coral, then the dusty concord, back in with the abandoned coral to blend that back into the dusty concord. So I'm always going back and forth between my blending inks. And you can do this many, many times until you get your desired shade. I really like that about Distress inks and blending here is you can really blend as much as you'd like. So you can keep this chipped sapphire, for example, at a really light color, or you can make it as dark as you can see on the masking paper. It's really, truly up to you. So going in right now with the chipped sapphire, this is one of my favorite colors for night sky. I'm going to go back in with the dusty concord to blend those two colors together. They blend super nicely together, especially for galaxy backgrounds, northern light backgrounds, and night skies. And then lastly, I'm going to go in with some black soot up at the top here. And I'm just going to have to make sure my masking paper is all the way down. Having the masking paper here, and I'm using masking paper from Simon Says Stamp, but you can use masking paper, post-it notes, computer paper that's taped down, whatever works for you. Having that masking paper here really is going to create those striking white lines. So I'm just going back in and blending the chipped sapphire in with the black soot. And then I can remove my masking paper and check out my results. It's always super important to clean up after you're done so you don't get ink on the back of your card or anywhere else. Always check your fingertips at this point as well, because you're touching white cardstock. You don't want to ruin your card at this point. So now I have this really awesome night sky. And if you want to keep it looking like a really natural light sky, you can grab a Uniball white gel pen and just go in and make some stars. Now here I just have to come up with a perfect sentiment, mainly because it has to fit in the right bottom corner, and I still want to make sure that it has enough room on the right and the left side to make it look like it belongs to the card and it's not just being squeezed in there. I'm just going to add it to my card base now, and that's the end of today's card tutorial. All my blending today was done on Nina Solar White cardstock, 110 pound. I like to use 110 pound more than 80 pound just because it's a little bit more durable when I'm going from off the paper to on the paper. I don't want it to get sort of worn out in certain areas. My card base measures 11 by 4¼ inches, and it's folded in half at 5½ inches. So, and this card panel here measures 4 by 5¼ So I get that nice little white border around the edges, which I really, really like, and I think it looks really sharp. But you could make the panel obviously also the same as the card if you'd like. Here's one last final look at today's card in natural light. All supplies used are listed below in the video description or on my blog. You can access my blog by clicking up at the top or in the video description below. Over on the right, there's a subscribe button where you can subscribe to my channel. And if you click on the Distress Inks 101 introduction, you can check out day 1 of this video series that I did yesterday if you haven't seen it yet. Don't forget to check out my other video today on the sunset and sunrise backgrounds, and I'll catch you tomorrow for another class.